Wasn't sure what the term transgender meant. Watch.
Yeah. It's hard to explain. People ask me about that. They say, I don't really understand transgender, can you explain it to me? That is, I don't really know what transgender is either. I don't know, I know what it is, it's this, but I don't know where it comes from or why.
So Chris Beck has had 10 years to think about this, and he looks back and believes and has said that the whole process of transitioning, quote, destroyed his life. In an interview with Robbie Starbuck, Beck said this, quote, everything that happened to me for the last 10 years destroyed my life. I destroyed my life. I'm not a victim. I did this to myself, but I had help. Chris Beck joins us now. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. It's a poignant story and deserves, I think, a much longer treatment than we're about to give it. But when you say you had help, what did you mean by that?
Well, the transgender originally started out as pretty basic, and now it's kind of morphed into an ideology. And that's what I'm kind of speaking about the ideology. I'm not talking about the people. Now, there's a lot of transgender people, great folks, but the ideology is what I'm talking about. It's becoming something where it's being pushed in schools, and young teenagers are having surgeries because it's saying they're transgender. It's an affirmation. Once a teenager walks into an office, even if the parents are saying no, that doctor can override that, and that's a problem. So then you also just to say the ideology of what's going on, to prove it, is like what's happening to me. And saying that I think these teenagers need more time. They also need to it used to be in the psychologist manual for mental health issues. Now they've gotten rid of that, and now as soon as somebody goes in there and says Andy, that's a transgender, you basically label transgender and you start pushing a surgery. That's what I'm trying to stop. There's a lot of transgender, not transgender, everything. What I'm talking about when I talk about CNN is that they take sound bites, they take something, and they talk about it one-sided. They talk about all the Fox didn't want to do this, but now on Fox, I don't want it to happen the opposite way. What we need to do is take the politics out of this. We want to take the emotions out of this, and let's look at it as a medical team. Let's look at it through a lot of different scope. I don't want this to be political, and I don't want transgender people to be harmed. But if you're doing this to kids, that's wrong. I have a Navy SEAL friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. He has a daughter. You see it. She was a happy tomboy. She had double mastectomy at 16 years old. A Navy SEAL friend of mine. Now this person is 20, I think, and who knows what's going to happen. But they also start doing them on hormone blockers and all kinds of other hormone things, puberty blockers, everything else. Hysteria. So we're going to have all these children in 5 or 10 years who are being told one side of this story, and they're going, well, that's me. Because we're not being told stories like mine, they're not being told stories like so many other people who have beat transitions. They hide the fact that I even exist. They also say that I hate transgender people. I don't hate transgender people. There's a lot of my friends. What I care about is people. I want people to slow down. I want these doctors to see what they're doing. In psychology, take a look at gender dysphoria, take a look at autogynephilia, take a look at body dysmorphic disorder. There's a myriad of things you can look at that we really have to start taking a look at. So what I'm telling is the medical industry and parents, you all need to wake up. You all need to know that there's a lot of information out there that's being hidden. And I want you to search for that information. If you're a teenager, look at the stories. Like Chloe Cole, she's 18 or 19 now, but I think she had a double mastectomy at like 14 or 15 years old. Look up that name, Chloe Cole. She's out here speaking about it because she's an adult now. So if she's getting all this done as a teenager, where's that put the medical industry? She was not a consenting adult, and she got life-altering surgery. She got basically, castrated as a teenager with all these drugs and all the stuff they're giving them. Why? All I'm speaking out about is that. I want people to look at both sides. I want you to see the CNN side, and I want you to see the Fox side. Right now, this is not political. I don't want to be political. I don't want to be emotional. I don't want this to turn into something bigger than it is. This should not be news. If doctors would be honest and give the entire story, then I wouldn't even be on here right now. I would have gone about my life quietly. I would have been on my farm. You never would have heard from me. Tucker, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be on here. But we had to be there because nobody is standing up for these kids. Now, if there's a bunch of kids that are transgender and they grow up and they be happy and they're 80 years old and they're still happy, you know, that's great. But there's a lot of kids that get caught up in this huge wave of popular transgender culture, popular transgender ideology, and that is wrong. That's what I'm talking about.
What you've just expressed is the opposite of hate. It's measured and thoughtful and humane and born of your own experience and clearly motivated by good faith. And I hope it's seen by everyone because it's not political. You're absolutely right. Chris Beck, I appreciate your thinking that through and sharing with us what you've learned and what you hope for the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So Joe Biden just signed a bill to help victims of sexual harassment. In none of the coverage did anybody in the media point out that Joe Biden very credibly accused with contemporaneous backup of violent sexual assault by a woman called Tara Reid, whose accusations we have reconsidered at great length and found them to be not just plausible, but almost certainly true. We're going to talk to her next.
Nights are for hanging out with the crew, but those mornings after, those are for breakfast at McDonald's. Everything just stands still when I get the buy one, get one for $1 deal and choose from a tasty sausage McMuffin, a sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Living in the moment has never tasted so good. And ordering a idea is like the hot sauce on top. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or complement. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. McD app download and registration required. Mobile order and pay available at participating McDonald's. Combined with any other offer or item of equal or lesser value. McD app download and registration required. Mobile order and pay available at participating McDonald's.
Company, we've been experts in the diamond business since 1929. You can now choose between either a natural or lab-grown diamond for your engagement rings, studs, or pendants. Lab-grown diamonds, we apply our same superior standards and work with the best diamond vendors who perfected the art and science of creating gorgeous diamonds in the lab. We'll show you our huge selection in every price range and help you choose the perfect diamond for you.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
In America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. Let's see. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Your happily ever after is waiting for you in the Chrysler Pacifica and Pacifica plug-in hybrid. With available all-wheel drive, Pacifica helps handle adverse conditions. And with the plug-in hybrid, it can help your range anxiety disappear. Make your drive even more enchanted in the Chrysler Pacifica and watch Disney's Disenchanted, now streaming only on Disney Plus, rated PG. Disney Plus subscription required. Must be 18 plus to subscribe. EPA estimated 520 mile total range with a fully charged battery. Actual mileage may vary.
Introducing the first TV brand streaming Xbox games, Samsung Neo QLED with Gaming Hub. With the Samsung Neo QLED and OLED TV, you can stream your favorite games straight to your TV. No console required. All you need is a compatible controller and internet. Play hundreds of games from the biggest streaming services, including NVIDIA, GeForce Now, Luna, to discover with thousands of new and classic game titles. Gain access to games in seconds without worrying about purchasing new hardware, downloads, or storage limits. All you need is an internet connection and a compatible controller. There is a special promotion going through the end of the year. Purchase the 2022 Samsung Neo QLED or OLED, and you get your first 3 months of Xbox game and Xbox controller on Samsung. Disclosure through 12/31 while supplies last. Purchase a 2022 Neo A5B or above, or OLED S95B at participating retailers. Full terms and conditions, including redemption instructions. See controllerredemption.com or see retailer. Controller color may vary. After Game Pass trial, you will automatically be charged unless canceled. Limit 1. Terms, xbox.com/subscription terms.
Attention. What you are about to hear is a realistic representation of what it's like to be a small business owner without listener discretion advised.
I just want to get
get this payroll processed.
Hey boss, where's my pay stub? Overtime isn't showing up.
May I ask you a quick question? Did you get the memo about the TPS report? We're out of snacks in the break room. I get a day off. I'm just...
Running a business is chaotic. There's always a new hat to wear and a fire to put out, and running payroll shouldn't be one of them. Starting at $19.99, you can join the tens of thousands of small businesses that trust Sure Payroll for fast and flexible payroll processing. Imagine all the time you could get back without worrying about taxes, penalties, or employee records.
Does anyone know where the mop is? Yeah, I'm gonna need the mop.
Visit SurePayroll.com for a 3-month free trial. Sure Payroll. Small business is our business.
Everyone knows even good people fall on hard times. You're hit with a financial setback, and before you know it, you're behind on your taxes. Unfortunately, the IRS isn't always as understanding, and the consequences can be serious. They can take your paychecks, your bank accounts, even your home or business. Don't take on the IRS by yourself. You need to call the experts at Optima Tax Relief. They specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that could save you thousands if you qualify. Optima's tax professionals fight to protect you from the IRS by helping you resolve your tax debt. Rating, and you will too. Put the hard times behind you. Get America's #1 tax relief firm on your side. Call now and get a free pay.
Call 800-725-9935. 800-725-9935. 800-725-9935.
Optima Tax Relief.
So you may have read in the news that Joe Biden just made America a little better by signing the Speak Out Act into law. It's supposed to combat sexual harassment. But what you probably didn't read is that Joe Biden himself has been credibly accused of sexual misconduct, and not just by his own daughter, whom he showered with. In the presidential election of 2020, that while working for Joe Biden in the U.S. Senate, he sexually assaulted her in a violent way. Most of the media buried the story. And we'll be honest and admit that we didn't think of it. But we finally sat down and talked at great length with Tara Reid to hear what happened. And we were completely convinced that this is real and that she was able to prove it. The whole story is part of a brand new episode of Tucker Carlson Today, but here's part of it.
When Biden started acting weird towards me, he would put his hands on my shoulder and put his fingers underneath my hair and do weird things like that. And then there was a scene where...
What did you think of that? I mean, did you...
Well, bear in mind, and you were around and a professional in the 90s, it was a different... I don't know if you were in D.C., but it was a different vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a different vibe, but it still was weird. I've never had an employer do that, and Panetta certainly didn't act like that.
No, he's not like that.
No, not at all. And he's just all business. And was always, he didn't seem like an intellectual giant, let's put it that way.
Right. No, he was famously not.
Yeah.
But a charismatic and warm guy. That was the
yeah, and and that's the thing. Behind closed doors, he was very temperamental.
Really?
And he would do this thing where he smiles when he's very disconcerting. Very disconcerting, that big smile, and but he'd be angry, and he was very temperamental. He had me up against a wall, and he penetrated me with his fingers against my will. And it wasn't just the assault though. It was to do with, here I am, this young staffer, and he did this, and then I made him angry. And that's like someone you don't want to make angry. Because I said no.
You've got to be honest, one of the reasons I didn't know what to make of your story was, I've been a man for, 53 years.
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything like that. Like that's, men are kind of pig. But that's kind of like rape. I mean, that's like so out of bounds that it's weird to think someone would do something like that.
It was just, it happened all at once. It happened really quickly. There was no flirtation with him or anything like that. It was very, he was usually with people and he wasn't. I was at the wrong place, the wrong time, so to speak. And when it happened, he at first was like, come on, man, I heard you liked me. And I froze. And then he said, he smiled, you know, that smile. And that's what was really jarring. And then he said, he pointed his finger in my face and he said, "You're nothing. You're nothing to me." And then I must have had a certain look on my face, and he just took my shoulders and shook them. He said, "You're fine, you're fine, you're fine." And then he turned around and he walked away. It was just such a jarring, shocking incident. Probably was all of less than 5 minutes, right? But sitting on these marble stairs, and my legs were shaking so badly because it wasn't just what he did, it's that I knew my career was over. That was it. Like, I had said no, it was an awful thing, and this was the end. He used his power and resources to silence me. And I'm going to share something with your audience. They took a cannonball to my life.
Yeah.
They went after my family. When he did that assault, he took my future. I didn't want to sleep with some senator. I wanted to be one. And that day, it ended.
The cruelty she describes, not just an unwanted advance, not just the sexual violence, but the meanness to her from Joe Biden and from his staff and from people in the party will just absolutely blow your mind. It's really offensive to anybody, not on partisan grounds. Just as a human being, you can't believe people would act that way, but they did. So we called the White House and we asked them for comment on what Tara Reade told us. Of course, they didn't respond. You can watch the whole interview tomorrow morning on Fox Nation. Also on Tucker Carlson today, we have a two-part conversation with Mike Tyson coming out Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe one of the greatest, most interesting interviews we've ever done, ever. Not one to miss. So Joe Biden's green energy push is maybe not surprising. It's the most interesting interviews we've ever done, ever. Not one to miss. So Joe Biden's green, surprisingly, destroying the natural environment, including killing off an entire species of whale. Really? Who saved the earth? Oh, but the whales are going extinct. Remember when liberals used to care about the whales? That was a better time. Plus, there is still time to get a Christmas ornament from the show, Made in America at TuckerCarlson.com.
Santa baby, absolutely slay. Santa baby, slip the sable under the tree. Could Rudolph win by a nose?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
You voted.
Had a very shiny nose.
Now we're counting down. Sirius XM Holly's 40 most lit holiday hits. Hear it throughout the week on Holly Channel 104 or anytime on the SXM app.
All investing involves risk, so invest wisely.
If you're in the market, you to ride it's been up one day, down more the next. And if you're over 50 like me, I know this current market volatility has you worried, just as you can see. I'm Charles Payne. I've been a Wall Street analyst and professional investor for decades. The truth is, I've never seen so many select opportunities for individual investors preparing for their golden years. I have a winning strategy for investing in any market environment, and it's all in my new book. Of proven strategies detailing how I manage my portfolio to deliver positive returns regardless of market conditions, and it's yours, free.
Don't let a volatile market derail your retirement. Keep it on track. 200,000 investors have done. Get a free copy of Unstoppable Prosperity by Charles Payne. Just your free copy, text FREE to 505-505. Text FREE to 505-505. Text FREE to 505-505.
Message and data rates may apply.
I'm Gwyneth Paltrow for CopperFit Energy Socks. What if we could make each day better one step at a time? CopperFit Energy Socks are designed for performance and built for comfort. From the lush cushioned footbed to the targeted arch support technology, copper infused to reduce odor. Make each day better, one fabulous step at a time.
Designed with our exclusive Easy On, Easy Off feature, CopperFit Energy graduated compression socks help increase circulation, reduce swelling, and provide all-day energizing support. And we've added arch support technology, a targeted compression band at the arch and ankle, designed to gently hug your foot to help ease foot fatigue. Right now, get 2 pairs of CopperFit Energy graduated only $19 $19.99.
Copperfit Energy Socks. Put them on, power up.
Order yours now at GetEnergySocks.com. That's GetEnergySocks.com. GetEnergySocks.com.
I'm Lucinda, eighth-generation farmer and founder of Moink. Moo plus Oink. Moink delivers American grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured